This video, we're going to go over which supplements are the best for adrenal fatigue. And this is the one where I get really excited because we get to dive into real answers that you haven't been getting from other things that say adrenal support on the label or on the bottle. And why aren't they working? So here it is. We're going to hop into it. If you feel like no matter how much you rest and you still feel like you can't bounce back, this is for you. If you feel emotional, this is for you. Now, one of the things we're doing here is I'm offering you a protocol, a pathway for you to take care of your adrenal glands. It's something that I built because I want to share with people a way to help them feel better. And you'll be able to get that protocol for free. If you go back to our first video, or maybe you didn't see our first video and you wonder if adrenal fatigue is probably playing a role in your health or lack thereof, then go check that video out. And you can start with this series. We're going to talk about how we support the adrenal glands in a way that we don't put gasoline on a fire. It's real easy to give the adrenal glands nutrients, and then it takes that nutrients up, and then it behaves badly with it. Your adrenal glands are a form of stress, and they're trying to just push as much cortisol out as they can. If you imagine those little like sponge-like glands that are sitting on top of your kidneys, if you're just taking your squeeze it like a dishwashing sponge, and all of the water would come out of it. Well, you could look at that like cortisol and adrenaline. So you squeeze it all out, and then there's nothing left. But then you put some more nutrients in it, and the glands go, I want some more of that adrenaline, and it kicks it out. And that can cause a lot of your symptoms. But then all of a sudden, when you're out of adrenaline, you don't have a nice, really, really slow, moderate drip of adrenaline in. And so now you're going on this roller coaster. So we need to pick supplements that support the adrenal glands without spiking out your cortisol and messing you all up. Okay, now it's my favorite time. We're going to actually crack out some of these supplements and we're going to break them apart piece by piece. One of my favorite supplements is the good old Adrenal Ease. Adrenal Ease is the herbal formula that is the capstone of adrenal fatigue support or adrenal support. The herbs that are blended in this puppy were derived in a certain order. They are to nourish the adrenal glands. The Adrenal Ease begins to build your adrenal glands, but it puts a cap on how much cortisol you can crack out. So when your adrenal glands are producing this cortisol, this adrenaline, and it's hitting the bloodstream and it's producing, that Adrenal Ease stops it here. So you still get some benefit, you still feel good, but you're not overdoing the adrenal gland, and you can produce some, but it can't just overdo it. And then that also gives the adrenal gland the opportunity to rest and to use that nutrients to rebuild itself instead of sacrifice itself and produce adrenaline. So in the herbs that are in our Adrenal Ease, they are called adaptogens. Now, there are a lot of adaptogens out there, but not all of them like to play nicely together. So again, we've blended those in a proper way. In our protocol, you will notice that we have a B complex. People run out and go get B12, and then they take B12 2 weeks later. They're worse than they were. Those 2 weeks were great while they were on the B12, but what they did was that B12 burned out their B6 and it was depleted. B12 and B6, they're buddies. They go into the adrenal glands and they produce cortisol and adrenaline, which makes you feel fantastic. But when that adrenaline gets out into the body, it has to be then broken down after it's used to activate your body for strength and for energy. And if you don't, it's called inactive cortisol. And we went back to that weight gain and that cortisol belly. That is because you have too much cortisol that's inactive, and it causes you to have feelings of stress, tight shoulders, and stomach. A B12 by itself is not the answer to adrenal stress. We need a B complex, something that has, yes, a fair amount of B12, but yes, we need a lot of B6 so that the B6 can create the adrenaline and the cortisol, and then it can break it down and get it out of the body. When we're low on B6, guess what suffers? It's our brain. We have more than four basic neurotransmitters that use B6 in the creation process of these neurotransmitters. And so when we don't have them, guess what happens? Our brain function goes to pot because we don't have enough B6. So a balanced B complex is so important. But if we're trying to introduce those B vitamins without Adrenal Ease, oftentimes it's fuel on the fire again. Another supplement that we've created that we just super duper love is the Advantage greens. And there's a lot of green products out there. And if you have some green superfood products, use them up. No big deal, right? But what people say about our Advantage Greens food supplement is don't take it before bed because you won't sleep. Take it in the morning because it gives me all kinds of energy. You can read the testimonials on it from people who have purchased it. These adrenal glands have been blended with particular antioxidants and nutrients to give you energy and get you moving. And there is zero caffeine in this. There is zero green tea in it. Now, doesn't mean that I have anything against green tea. What it means is we're able to accomplish this by supporting the body in a very specific way without green tea. It's amazing. It's just phenomenal. Most people can use the Advantage greens no problem without the Adrenal because it's well balanced enough. It does not cause a spike in cortisol. However, it does not have a hugely supportive effect on the adrenal glands in a long-term building scenario. So why do we use the Advantage greens in the adrenal protocol? Because it gives you energy while allowing the adrenal glands to relax and to heal. And they're fantastic. L-theanine, it reduces anxiety, improves your sleep, and it is the number one supplement to go for when somebody is having a hard time shutting their brain down. Like you lay down in bed and you just flash, 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 your day's going through your brain and you can't shut it down. This one helps with that. This one works for ADD, ADHD, is safe with children and kids, and works really well with just about any medication. If you've got anxiety and your brain won't turn off, L-theanine is it. Ashwagandha extract. We love our ashwagandha extract. And we produce an ashwagandha extract because we had control over how the extraction process went. What we were finding was this, yeah, you could go to Amazon and you could grab some ashwagandha pills or a liquid ashwagandha, and one person would be taking 2 squirts of liquid ashwagandha extract, and then the other brand you would take a half a squirt, and they were just as effective. The problem was that we didn't know how strong the extract was. It was really hard to help people out when they would come to us and they say, hey, I got adrenal fatigue. Okay, your anxiety's high. Let's do some ashwagandha before bed, help you sleep, reduce that anxiety. And it wouldn't work with one brand. So we'd switch to another one and it would work. It was just all over the place. Long story short, we created our own ashwagandha extract. It's a high concentration, so you don't have to use a wheelbarrow load of it. And it works fast in our glycerin extract. And so if you're feeling anxiety, you can take it by mouth and lay down and feel a relief of anxiety within minutes instead of hours as you're waiting for a dry pill to absorb. Typically, we use it with people who have adrenal fatigue and high anxiety, not necessarily fatigue or stress, but high anxiety. Let's talk about some of the side effects of adrenal formulas or adrenal supplements or adrenal support. The big thing here is very low side effects. And what we do with natural supplements, very low side effects. Some people will notice shifts in their bodies as they start to take the supplements, mostly beneficial. Some people will feel too calm. For example, too calm is a weird term to use, but some of us are running from point A to point B to point C to point A, and we're doing it all on stress. We're just like, I gotta do this, run, run, run. I'm just trying to survive. And then all of a sudden that's gone, and you're like, oh, oh. That's when you need to rest and digest. And so somebody hitting these supplements in the middle of the work week really hard, it's probably not the best time to start it. Let's start it on a Friday, and then you have all weekend to enjoy the benefits of the adrenal supplements and support. You'll start sleeping better. Things will go great. Remember, download our free protocol on adrenal support because that's where you get a lot of Q&A about the supplements, teaches you how to use them a little bit with finer detail, amounts, dosages, things like that. This will walk you through the process. Don't just listen to this video and then say, okay, well, I'm going to just go on Amazon and tippy tappy. Next thing you know, you got a bunch of supplements showing up, and then they get here and you're like, oh, well, do I just take the dose on the bottle? What do I do? No. Get the protocol. Let it walk you through the process. All right, do it right. I know you're all just like hanging at the edge of your seat about adrenal supplements, adrenal support, what it is and how to do it and how to take it. Well, that's half of the climb up the mountain. The other half is nutrition and lifestyle. We are going to tackle them in our next video. So hang on there, grab the next video. If you have not subscribed or not signed up for our newsletter, now's the time to do it. One of the things that we do in life is we see or hear something that's really good, and then we're like, well, that was interesting, and we hit it in our saved videos, or we do something else with it, and we never get back to it. Subscribe so that you get notifications, get the newsletter so you get notification, and let that help you move to the next step so that you can be happy and healthy. There's no reason not to. Do it now. You know, the junk food makes us feel worse. But what if it was good food that was making you feel worse? We're going to talk about that a little.